Listen, welcome back to Sunrise. Tami said, Ita, this is you. And I'm excited. November is commemorated nationally as Youth Month. Each year, the Ministry of Education and Youth, through the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division, coordinates a series of activities that aim to recognize and honor the contributions under the theme Youth Impact 2024. And who best to give the details than Chairman of the Youth Month Advisory Planning Committee, Khadine Brooks, and Senior Program Development Specialist at the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division, Simone Campbell. They join us this morning to share more. I'm excited. Can you tell?
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And I think that's a good place for us to kick off, just talking about the significance of Youth Month in Jamaica and also specifically your theme for this year.
So I'll take it. So Youth Month historically is celebrated in November, and it is an opportunity to spotlight issues that our young people are interested in. Young people makes up a significant portion of the global population, and so it is quite fitting that we dedicate a month, although we cannot address all the issues in a month, but it enables us to spotlight those issues that are affecting youth, and importantly, provide them with a platform to amplify what their suggestions for national development are. And so this Youth Month is pretty much designed to offer young people that space and for them to feel that they are included in the national development thrust. Because young people, we are the future, we are the now, and we bring innovation, we bring collective triumphs. And that is what the Impact 2024 is about. It's about recognizing the powerful contribution of our youth and providing them with the ability to amplify and to augment those impacts.
Well, that's the focus.
That's the focus.
That's the focus, pretty much. So how can young people get involved in these Youth Month activities?
Well, I will be supported by Mrs. Campbell here. But across the island, we have a vast network of structures that allows young people to engage. So we have at the community level national youth councils, we have police youth clubs, and through these structures we're able to decentralize the support and the interventions that are there to be offered. So presently, Heart NSTA Trust, in partnership with the ministry, will be embarking on what is called Pandikana. So essentially, central government is taking the services available to young people in their communities on the corner, because we recognize that we have to meet the youth where they are, and we are better to meet them than at the bars, at the barber shop, at the construction center. And so through this, Heart NSTA Trust will be able to bring the various opportunities they have available to youth and empower them to be able to tap into opportunities available, because we often have a mismatch between opportunities available and knowledge. So the thrust is to bring greater awareness.
You know, Simon, as I hear Khadine emphasize the trust and the impact and the focus, I am wondering, though, how do you explain or foresee this being a lasting impact on the youth?
Thanks for that, and thanks for having us. Youth are very innovative. Young people are creative, or young people are driven. And one of the opportunities that we have highlighted through Youth Month is where young people are given opportunity to showcase these things. And the lasting impact is through their efforts and their doing. So for example, the Ponder Corners that are happening with the ministry, through the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division and Heart, are integrally involved with young people. So they too, through the different youth organizations, the Youth Council, the student governance programs, the church groups are always a part of these initiatives. And we find that because young people are involved from the conceptualization of these activities, then you find there are greater buy-in from them and greater involvement from the young people. And so you kind of have each one pull one, take one, and have a greater impact and greater involvement from young people themselves. You have, for example, today, where we're having an opportunities for persons with disability, and the lead coordinator is a youth empowerment officer who is blind. So it's when we started looking at Youth Month from earlier this year and asking youth empowerment officers, asking youth leaders, asking the regular young persons on the ground through the National Youth Parliament, through the different conversations and interactions, what are some of the things that are affecting you? What are some of the things that you'd like to see happen as a result and as a solution to some of these issues? Then we see these type of activities coming up. We're having the Upon the Corners, we're having something called a mobile YSC, which is similar to Upon the Corner. We're having the opportunities fair for specific communities like this one. And even today at Monroe, they have the student councillors having a forum with their peers, talking about issues like mental health, things that they believe are affecting young people, and they're proposing not just among themselves, but to teach us, the movers and makers and the shakers who can make things happen, what are the solutions to some of the things that are affecting these young people.
Absolutely, and that is how we'll have lasting impact, because they're involved in the conversation. I like the concept of Pandakana, because oftentimes when we think about Pandakana, we think about antisocial negatives, and that you're inserting in a more productive use of the Pandakana reasoning.
And so many times we look at our youth in Jamaica, and as adults, sometimes we want to say, oh, they're just kids, or, we kind of almost discard their opinion, and it really does matter what they think, and it's so important to create that next generation who is willing to advocate, to step up, to speak up. How do we go about, empowering our youth? Like, I think about my own children. Is there any advice you have for anybody watching now, how we can embolden them to really step up and speak up and say, this is what I think, and start to really create that culture?
Fostering an environment, not just at home, but in the communities where they feel safe, included, and that they matter. And you'll find that once young people are safe, once they feel their voice matter, and that what they're saying, what they're projecting, what they're proposing will be taken into account and they'll be taken seriously, then you find they're more inclined to be involved and want to do more. And young people are not just the future, they are the now. True. And once we look at it like that from a youth development perspective, you'll find that it's easier.
Everything changes.
It changes, and it is a ripple effect, domino effect, where once they're confident, they feel safe, and we cannot downplay, the importance of them feeling safe and feeling involved and, valuable. Then it makes a whole difference.
And it changes the conversation, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, and it becomes a conversation, which is so important.
And that we need to do, have the conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow, thank you both so much for being here. How can we find out more information? Anybody watching who may think, I want to get involved.
Jamaica, on all our social media and platforms. We will be uploading and updating the Youth Month calendar, because the one that is there, we have a lot more agencies that have reached out recently, and youth organizations who are doing things, and regular persons who are having things that are related to youth development. So a calendar will be the same calendar will be updated so that persons can see what is happening in their different locales. So connect to Youth Jamaica, and you'll see all the happenings, as not just what we're having on our page from the Youth Division, but also our partners are collaborating with us on the social media, so we're able to share the activities and initiatives. So Youth Jamaica on all social media platforms.
Okay.
I want you to clarify. I want you to clarify.
I hear him now.
The range, how is youth defined exactly? Don't say anything, Tami. Youth. What age to what age?
15 to 29.
15, not 15.
But we do not exclude persons who are interested to be a part of our activities.
I was just going to ask, suppose we're not youth anymore.
I don't know why you're looking at me, right?
How can people maybe get involved, volunteer? Is that an option for people to be able to? Yeah, okay.
For example, if you look at even the youth council, and the age grade is 15 to 29. However, we emphasize the importance of advisors and persons giving support and encouraging communities through the community leaders to give support to the young people. So you'll find, the older ones and some younger ones are part of these activities and are part of the groups. We're inclusive, but even though we have that age grade, I cater to them as the main beneficiaries of the programs and the activities. However, youth development is a Jamaica development.
Yeah, truly.
Yes.
And youth, they are not the future, they are the now.
No, I love that. And you can tell, say, when I did talk, you know, when you little bit, and then say, when I feel, and when I don't like, you know, them people always say, I don't like this lunch.
Yes.
I don't think this is what we should be given today. It was such a pleasure having you both. Thank you so much for being here. And the incredible work that you're doing. Please continue to do so.
I concur.
Yeah, and we'll figure out something for you, don't worry. That was Adane Brooks, Chairman of the Youth Month Advisory Planning Committee, and Simone Campbell, Senior Program Development Specialist at the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division. Sunrise will be right back.